Hello and welcome back to Planet Stronghold Colonial Defence. Hey Diana, what have you got there? I was just going through my messages, but I think the spam filter's balked. Oh, there's a couple of messages for you as well. Anything official or more junk mail? Let me transfer them to your account. You tap at your watch and a small display screen appears, and with practiced ease you send the pertinent messages to Alex's account. No, junk as well. Not to mention a Madron princess has some money stuck in an account and I could make a bundle if I gave a little help. Still better than being asked to participate in a chain letter, otherwise you could suffer some bad luck. Doesn't anyone have anything better to do than float popcorn around? With the lull in the fighting and the base not under immediate threat, I guess we're all a bit loose end. And it's a bit early to start drinking. Sometimes it's a wonder you even have a liver left. Well, we could go see if one of the holorooms is open. Of course, that still leaves the question of what to play. Much like pizza toppings, two people rarely agree. Anyone who doesn't like pineapple doesn't have a good sense of taste. Somebody hit him over the head with something heavy. I'm sorry, pineapple on a pizza, it's just wrong. Ugh. As long as there aren't anchovies, where our mum and dad try to combine the two. Oh, I wouldn't mind a supernatural-themed western. The Dead and the Quick, complete with zombie gunslingers? Well, they still haven't got the horse animations right. It's like the designers have never rode on one before. It definitely sounds promising, but... But? What's the problem, Captain? You're allowed to have fun, you know. It's not that, but... I wonder whether this game has the werewolf brothel. And again, I guess there are a few things around the colony we could do. Someone has to take inventory of the armour. I could swear I saw a blunderbuss back there. Rigel's been wanting to clean up the hangar, and like my suggestion of an acid bath followed up by a fire hose, I guess I could do a quick circuit around the perimeter. It was a real shame to essentially come up with busy work. What do you say, Diana? Perhaps take it a little easier? A little of both. It's balance. Let's do something constructive and then take the rest of the afternoon off. Hell, I'll let you pick the game. Ooh, Carnival of Madness. Except that. But it has all the monster clowns you could gun down. And in the Hall of Mirrors, your reflection can attack. I'll talk to you later, Diana. I have a little popcorn to clean up. Okay, now I'll be interested to see what this one pertains to, given that we're now on the romance track. As you enter the science lab, you see Charlotte, Mira and Mario standing near a bed of exotic-looking vegetation. Closer scrutiny puts you in mind of a Venus flytrap, but these, if anything, have sharp thorns. From the sound of it, the trio are actually singing, and as soon as they finish one song, they try another. Even more interesting is the fact that the plants actually seem to be moving to the music the three are making. Thanks, Mira. I really appreciate that. Make no mention of it. It was my pleasure. I admit, I always thought it was an odd superstition about talking to your plants. Those old wives' tales often have a basis in fact. At first, it believed they benefited from the carbon dioxide exhaled, but plants can respond positively to external stimuli. Hearing Mira's voice is always a pleasure. Will you look at that? I managed to get the fine doctor to blush. So what about you, Captain? Do you want to join? You could be part of the chorus. Perhaps, though I'm much more comfortable directing a military march. These plants won't know the difference, though it does make the Ya-2V hungry. It actually stimulates its digestive juices, much like an insect in a Venus flytrap. Ya-2V? A species of carnivorous plant found elsewhere on the planet, named after an African myth about a vegetal man-eater. If you come across those, your best course of action is to go silent and creep away. You may not know it, but I read your paper about the next generation of plants capable of producing bioplastics. Oh, thank you. I didn't think anyone would read it, it was just so I could get my master's. I would have made a fine thesis for a doctorate, which is why I find it more perplexing you entered politics instead of staying in botany. It wasn't part of my life's path, but if you must know, it just sort of happened. Sounds more like a sudden detour if you ask me. Well, there isn't much to tell, actually. A Biocorp approached me about my research and hired me to run their farms as scaled up. Fortunately, some of the more established petroleum companies felt threatened and shut us down. And let me guess, they used their pet politicians to pull it off. It didn't help they had some of the nobles behind them as well. Each time we thought we cleared a hurdle, they'd throw up another roadblock. We didn't have this permit or we didn't pay that fee which suddenly appeared. Wouldn't it have been simpler to purchase your research and shut everything down? That would work, except we wouldn't sell out. Our part of Canada, well, there were two industries, petroleum and agriculture. Agriculture was going nowhere. With our plants, though, the farms could actually compete in an industrial level with much less population. But when the politicians shut you down, you decided to do something about it. They couldn't buy the election, though they tried. I'm surprised you didn't have an accident. One of a number... Well, his paranoia quotient was the equal to Cadence, accepted that, and got the media involved. So needless to say, I was asked to run, and, well, they said I was photogenic. Photosynthetic would have been more useful. Politicians. What use are they? Better to feed them into a mulcher than let them reproduce. I heard all those old jokes. Like, what do you call a politician buried 10 feet underground? A good start. The thing is, we were actually making some headway, and the Imperial representatives didn't care. The Empire has found that it's usually best for the locals to govern themselves, and in times of crisis, well, they're quite clever. They'll often co-opt the loudest voices into a committee and charge them to fix the problem. If they succeed, great, and if they don't, well, the grumblers certainly don't have a solution, and they take the blame. Hell, given how the current conflict's going, I wouldn't be surprised if someone doesn't approach the captain to ask them to go into politics. You're not joking, are you? People rally behind an accomplished leader in war, and it doesn't help that you're good-looking. Hell, the entire staff is. Did you pull some strings for that? Yeah, Captain, I'm serious. After your tour of duty, you're going to find a lot of doors open to you. If anything, your military ties will make you more desirable. So if given the chance, would you enter the political domain? Bloody hell, the weather outside is horrible. Well, I think we have plans to overthrow the Empire, don't we? Why not go for the whole thing? Take control of the Empire? Well, barring the problem, we're stuck on a planet without other allies. Although it is safer to contemplate a revolt from a relative backwater. You do realise I was just joking. Sure thing, Captain. We know you weren't being serious. Mario closes his left eye briefly as he speaks. Why did you just wink, Mario? If you don't mind, Captain, we have one bed of flowers left and I'm sure Maria would like to give her voice a rest. Yeah, so nothing there that sounded particularly sort of romance track related, but that's okay. Take Xavier out, put her back in. Get the cards. You know, I probably ought to make a deck for just, you know, only, I could actually just build an entirely new deck that's designed for the missions where I'm limited, but what can I say? It's easier just to switch back and forth because I'm lazy. Alright, let's get the cannon turret up, and a marksman. Great, they have a wall. Plus some regular infantry. Target there. 2 walls, blooming heck. Right, we can afford to deploy the drone. Target that wall. Target that wall. Can't do anything else that's done. Oh, sandstorm, nasty. Target that. Target the wall. Target the wall. Deploy and target the wall. And get another cannon turret in there. Oh, and a robo-ant. Excellent. Alright, everybody. Initiate ganging up protocol. Now, why would you attack the cannon that can fight back rather than the cannon that can't? Cannon that can't, yeah, whatever. Sort of tell you. Entering the hangar bay, you see a small gathering of people around a silver and black hovercycle. Galenia is running a hand along the handlebars in appreciation, while Rigel is talking rather animatedly with Griselia. Hey Griselia, I have some good news for you. It should only take a week, 2 at the most, to make the modifications you wanted. That's excellent news, Rigel. I know you've been busy, but I appreciate you squeezing in my pet project. Did the government spooks corral you two into some secret project? No, it's nothing Black Ops. I just asked Rigel to make some modifications to my hovercycle. And I'm doing this on my own time, Captain. It isn't coming out of our budget. Hovercycle? Didn't take you for a biker chick. Nice. I was like a girl with a bit of edge. I wasn't part of a gang, if that's what you're getting at. I've seen some of the patches on your jacket. I'd hazard to guess they didn't come from a spill. Well, I've had to use a chain a time or two in self-defense. And that's why I wanted to put a few surprises in your bike, wasn't it? I was just a little curious whether you would contact your parents or not. Sorry, I'm still deciding on it, Captain. It's alright. Just know I'll have you back, no matter what you decide. I can guarantee my parents wouldn't have allowed me to ride something like this, Griselia. My parents would have been the same way, and another strike against them. And here I thought you had a sixth sense for detecting danger. it doesn't do you much good if you're travelling at high speed, and that's assuming you can detect them. Some beings can hide their thoughts, whether by training or biology. And it probably doesn't help much for environmental hazards either. Well, I think the modifications will help in that regard. First, I've almost doubled your top speed. Oh, excellent. I hope you reinforced the windshield. Some of the bugs on this planet, well, they're as hard as matrix skin. That would hurt. If it got through, you wouldn't be eating bugs in your teeth, you'd be picking your teeth up off the ground. Additionally, you also have a speed boost, but careful how much you use it, it'll put great strain on your fuel. I knew you were the right person to go to. Would you believe Xavier suggested an ejection seat? An ejection seat in a hovercycle? You must have been joking. I hope. Hell, I just appreciate the chance to play inventor. Maria and Samuel get all the fun. If you call being mad scientists fun, you're quite welcome, Rigel. So while I still have it up, is there anything else you think I should include? What do you think, Captain? Any further suggestions? Never hurts to have an AI co-pilot, but they're not exactly. AI is not exactly simple to build. But yeah, give it an AI. Perhaps take a lesson from our hover tanks. Have Rigel install a maintenance AI. It's not a bad idea. Got a couple of units which were delisted after the last budget. Down to anything like Lucius, but it'd be a great assist. I don't know. Half the fun's being in control of the bike. And that doesn't have to change. They control secondary systems like the scanners, the environmental awareness. Well, I'm going to plan for my next outing. Talk with you later. Hover bikes. Yikes. So yes, I'm deliberately saving up my stars at this point so I can spend them on upgrading, like the siege tank unit if and when I get it and things like that. So. Okay, let's talk to Samuel. So, how's the hottest biologist doing this year? Please, you can let it drop. Thank goodness things are finally dying down. Do you know how much work was interrupted? Still, 2 consecutive years, that's not too shabby. I know. Post 1 nature documentary and have 1 wardrobe malfunction. I remember the outpouring from that one. I don't know if Mum was serious about the marriage proposal. Did you ever manage to write back to all your fan mail? I admit I cheated a little on that. I was starting to get repetitive stress injuries, so I asked Lucius to step in. And I was glad to help. The majority of people meant quite well. Yes, but you really didn't need to show me those pictures. Someone crossed a few personal boundary layers. Not only crossed it, but erased the lines and almost in my skin. Say, what did you do with those pictures, Lucius? Don't worry, I dealt with them in a most responsible manner and recycled them. That's good. Wait, most of them? What happened to the rest? Christoph expressed an interest in them, and I imagine turned a profit. If they are so much as circulating through the colony... Actually, I recall him saying that they were quite popular among the Madrons and Matrix, though my databases don't indicate why. I can answer that. Some of the aliens hold humans in a rather fetishistic regard. Take the Madrons, for example. You notice they don't wear much in clothing. Of course, living on a desert planet and being covered with fur would have something to do with it. Quite. As a result, for a certain percentage, find humans quite alluring by their standards. In fact, for some, the more clothes the better. Are you saying they're sexually excited by the Amish? Well, it depends. They're put off by long hair and beards, but they certainly adore clothing from head to toe. In fact, Mario would be considered quite exotic by a certain subset of Madrons. So no amount of cajoling could entice you to go, or when you find out you could be a playboy. Nah, wouldn't work out. Men are from Earth, Madrons are from Madra, I guess. So, why would there be an interest by the Matrix? That is harder to figure out, and the one I got closest to was fascinated by how soft our skin was, how it could turn colour in the sun. Just as long as they don't look to make clothing from my skin. Sounds like the basis of a bad horror movie. I'm sure Charlotte could tell you if there was one. Samuel, I have some good news. Oh? You are now the lead for sexiest biologist once again. Wait, how? How's that even possible? I wasn't even in the running. It looks like you are the beneficiary of a massive write-in effort. No. Even more interesting, the company wishes for you to do another nature documentary. No! The last time was a veritable nightmare. Do you know how badly the film crew wrecked the environment? And to say nothing of staging the shots. I also looked over your clothing. Looks like it was sabotaged. Wait, the wardrobe malfunction? Was no malfunction. Still, as a ratings grab, it could have been much worse. My balls were almost Sandmore food. I never jumped so high in my life before. How could it have been much worse? It's amazing how much playtime it has. I know I wince every time I see it. Well, with that charming image, I'm going to have to end this part here. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next.